She arrived one rainy evening, a frail old woman with eyes that had seen too many winters, and a bundle so small it seemed her whole life had been folded into it. She asked for nothing but a place to rest, but whispers rose before she had even found a roof. Witch, they called her, a woman without family, a stranger with no past, and in their fear they cast her aside. Children mocked her, elders turned away. She made her home on the edge of the village, in a broken hut by the woods, patching its walls with her trembling hands, living in silence, living in loneliness. Then the sickness came, a fever that burned like fire, sweeping through homes, gripping children and elders alike. The healer tried, but nothing worked. The village wept in despair, and it was then that the old woman walked into the square. Her voice was cracked but steady. "Bring me to the sick." They doubted. They spat. They feared. But desperation is louder than hate, and so she was led to the dying. Through long nights she worked, her hands steady, her bundle of herbs glowing with secrets. She brewed bitter teas, laid cool cloths on burning skin, and sang old songs, songs that seemed to breathe strength into weary hearts. Day by day the fever broke. Children sat up, alive. Mothers cried tears of joy. The sickness was gone. The woman they had cursed, the one they called witch, had saved them all. And so the elders bowed their heads in shame. They gathered the people and declared, "No longer shall she be called witch. She is our mother of healing. From this day she is one of us." They built her a new hut. Children carried her fruit. Elders sought her counsel. And in the evenings, by the fire, her laughter rose, soft and unexpected, like a bird returning after a long winter. The stranger had become family. The lonely one had found her home, not by blood, not by kin, but by kindness stronger than cruelty, and healing offered without demand. Years rolled on, and the woman grew older, her hair now almost entirely silver, her movements slower, but her spirit still steady. The villagers who had once mocked her now treated her as the beating heart of their community. Her hut, once humble and solitary, had become a place of learning, where children and young adults gathered around to listen to her stories, to learn the secrets of herbs, the songs of the forest, and the wisdom of patience and compassion. Though she had earned the title Mother of Healing, she never demanded attention. Each morning she walked the village paths, inspecting gardens, checking on animals, and quietly mending broken fences or patching roofs. Her hands, though gnarled and trembling, seemed to work magic, repairing more than walls. They repaired hearts. One spring morning, a little girl, no older than 7, approached her with wide, curious eyes. She held a small sprig of wildflowers in her tiny hands. "Mother of Healing," she said softly, "will you teach me to help others too?" The old woman smiled, a deep warmth breaking across her lined face. She took the girl's hands in her own, gentle but strong. "Kindness," she whispered, "is a gift that grows when it is shared. You must learn to see those who are lonely, those who are hurt, and never turn your heart away." The girl nodded, and from that day, she became her apprentice, walking beside her through the village, learning not just the herbs and remedies, but how to listen, to understand, and to care. Slowly, the wisdom of the Mother of Healing spread from one generation to the next. Even beyond the village, travelers came to hear her teachings. She never demanded attention, never sought praise. She only asked that kindness be remembered, that it be passed from hand to hand, heart to heart. One evening, as the sun sank low and the sky burned with pink and gold, the old woman stood on the hill overlooking the village. Children played in the fields, elders tended gardens, and the village hummed with life. She felt the weight of years in her bones, but also the lightness of a life spent giving. And in that quiet moment, she realized something she had never thought possible. She had found not just a home, but a family, not just respect, but love that flowed without expectation. Before she passed quietly in her sleep, the villagers gathered around her, holding hands and singing the songs she had taught them, honoring her not with gold or titles, but with hearts full of gratitude. And when she was gone, they planted a circle of wildflowers around her hut, so that every spring her presence would bloom again in petals of purple, gold, and white, a living testament to a life defined not by fear or suspicion, but by courage, compassion, and kindness. The villagers, moved by gratitude and respect, erected a statue of her in the center of the village square. It captured her gentle posture, her gray messy bun, deep-set eyes, and the shawl she had worn, a lasting tribute to the woman who had transformed their lives. Flowers and small tokens were placed at its base, and children were taught to speak her name with reverence. As the sun set behind the distant hills, casting golden light across the thriving village, her story remained alive. It was told from hut to hut, whispered during quiet evenings, and sung in soft songs that drifted across the gardens. The old woman's life had become a living legacy, a reminder that even the most unlikely hearts can change a world through quiet acts of kindness. Her story endured not just in memory, but in every act of care, in every healed wound, and in the laughter of children who would never know the fear she once faced, but would always know the power of a giving heart.